All right. This is to help with fraction level 8. Okay. First thing I want to show you, you got to pay really a close attention to these instructions. So you got to get 5 out of 6 to master this level. For questions 1 through 3, you just write it as an improper fraction. So question this one, and this one, you got to type in improper fraction. And it looked like almost everybody got those correct. The problems were here. 4 through 6, write your answer in a mixed number. So let's practice a couple of those. So I made some examples that are almost exactly the same, but the numbers are different. Okay, so one of them says, Omar is baking 5 batches of tacos. The recipe calls for 1 3/4 cup seasoning. How much seasoning will Omar need for his 6 batches of tacos? Oh, wait, I messed up the number. All right, let's see. This one should be 5. So he's making 5 batches of tacos. Each one takes this much seasoning. So we're going to multiply 5 times 1 3/4. So if you remember yesterday what we did, we practiced this. So you change, let's see. Got to change this to improper fraction. So you go 4 times 1 equals 4. And then you add this numerator here for 7. So 4 times 3 is 7 fourths. So now I just changed 1 3/4 to 7 fourths. That's your first step. Okay, then you can work on the second step, which would be to multiply 5 times 7 fourths. So you go 5 times 7, or maybe I'll write it up here, I'm running out of room, equals 35. Then you have 35 fourths. Okay, but you're not done. So now there's one extra step. Now you got to turn this guy back into a mixed number, okay, which is probably the hardest thing you got to do this week. So 35 fourths, you got to use division to turn it into a mixed number. So you go the numerator divided by the denominator. Okay, so think to yourself, what's the biggest number that can go into 35 with 4? So it goes, let's see, so 4, 8, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and then one more would be 36. So that's too much. So it'd be 8. It's because 8 times 4 equals 32. And then you subtract. 5 take away 2 is 3. So you'd have 8 with the remainder of 3. So now for the last step, you got to change this into a mixed number. So this is your whole number. So 8. This is your numerator. And this is your denominator. So you'd have 8 3/4. Hey, if you just came in the room or you unmuted yourself, will you please mute yourself again? Okay, so kind of tricky. There's a few steps. Let's do another one. Cindy's making 3 batches of chocolate chip cookies. The recipe calls for 2 1/4 cups chocolate chips. How many cups of chocolate chips will Cindy need? Okay, so you have 3 times 2 1/4. Okay, first step, you got to change this into an improper fraction. 4 times 2 equals 8. Then you add this numerator for 9. So now you have 9/4 times 3 instead of 2 1/4 times 3. So that's your first step. Okay, second step, you're going to multiply 3 times 9/4. You do that. 3 times 9 equals 27. And your denominator stays the same at fourths. So you have 27 fourths now. Okay, now you got to turn it back into a mixed number. 27 fourths into a mixed number. Okay, you're going to use division. So you take your numerator and you divide it by your denominator. Okay, so let's see, 4 times 5 would be 20. 4 times 6 would be 24. 4 times 7 would be 28. So 7's too much. So you're going to go with 6. 6 times 4 equals 24. And you're going to subtract 7, take away 4 equals 3. So you have 6 remainder 3. So last step, this is your whole number. So 6. This is your numerator, 3. And this is your denominator. So 6 3/4 chocolate chips you would need. Okay, let's do another one. Young tree in the forest is 3.5 feet tall. When it's fully grown, it will be 4 times this height. How tall will the tree be when it's fully grown? Okay, so I have 3.5. It's tall. And then it's going to grow to be 4 times this height. So you're going to times it by 4. Okay, so best way to do it, convert into a mixed number, or convert an improper fraction, sorry. 2 times 3 equals 6. Add your numerator for 7. So now I have 7 halves instead of 3.5 times 4. Okay, now you're going to multiply. 7 times 4 is 28. And then your denominator stays the same. So you have 28 halves on this one. So last step, turn 28 halves back into a mixed number, or sometimes you might turn into a whole number. So 28 divided by 2, right? Your numerator divided by your denominator. Okay, so I'm looking here and I can do 2 times 1 equals 2. Okay, so I'm good there. Subtract, bring down the 8. 8 divided by 2 now is what you're working with. So you'd go 2 times 4 equals this 8. Okay, so this one, I didn't have a mixed number. I just ended up with a whole number. So that might happen on 1 or 2 of these as well. So in this instance, your answer is just 14. Okay, good luck. Remember, these first 3 problems, just improper fraction. So you got to skip those last couple steps on these first 3. Okay. Second 3, 3, 4, or wait, no. 4, 5, and 6 are the hard ones we just did. So here's the tree one, right? The numbers are just different. Okay. Here's the Cindy making cookies one. The numbers are just a little bit different. And then here's the taco one with Omar baking tacos. Okay, so